Good day, all. So this is my second Teachers Talk video. I do want to say that I do sympathize with teachers. Class sizes are getting, it's not so much the size of the classes. I remember almost always having more than 30 kids in a class, but the problems are children that act out on a consistent basis, problem children. And the real big issue today is the children that can't speak English. And when a parent applies for their child to go to that school, there needs to be a question on the application. Can your child speak conversational English? A child has to be able to speak relatively good in English to attend classes for a few different reasons, not the least of which is that if they don't understand what's going on, what are they going to learn? And the teacher doesn't have time to babysit these kids. If you had 2 or 3 children in your class that couldn't speak English, I would have to say that they would probably soak up about, as far as any of the help that the teacher gives to students on a one-on-one basis, those 3 children are probably going to soak up about 80% of that time. This is a general education. It's not a language class. And if a child can't speak English, they shouldn't be attending our schools. And I hope that these individuals understand that what's this child going to learn anyways? So you teachers in Alberta are out on strike, and I don't really believe in striking, at least not for wages. And I don't think you guys can say that you have any serious health or safety issues. What I think you teachers need to do is to tackle one issue at a time. I don't think, as I said, class sizes are necessarily the problem. I think it's the special needs kids, the problem children, and the children that can't speak English. What needs to happen is the children need to be screened before being let into the school. There needs to be an English test. Any problem children should be dealt with by the principal and vice principal. We had kids kicked out of school that were disruptive and just detracting from everyone else's education. I think students, we just want to go to school, get her done, and move on. But I think if you teachers tackled one issue at a time, I realized the way the economy is, inflation is going to take over, pretty well any pay raise you're going to get. But you teachers make really good money. The majority of the population make less money than you do. And we're going to take this hit even harder. And in my first video, I don't want it to seem that I'm against teachers. That's not the case. But they really just don't seem to understand that there is no more money. You can't ask for more money from people that are making less money than you are, and you have a pretty good job. The hours are cushy, the pay is excellent, excellent benefits. If you took the money and the benefit issues off of the table and just dealt, for instance, with class sizes, that would also, it would make your job a lot easier not to have to deal with these other situations. It would make your job easier. So you really are getting a big benefit out of tackling the class size issue. And as I said, it's not that I feel the classes are necessarily that big. It's simply the amount of time that is invested in children that can't speak English, special needs kids, and problem children. What you want is for them to hire more teachers. For instance, if there are children that can't speak English, there needs to be a class for them. And they shouldn't be allowed to attend regular classes until they can speak conversational English. Special needs kids, they need their own class. So I really think that take everything else off the table, fix these classroom issues. It would be well worth it for you to do this, and it would greatly benefit the children as well. So I think that's pretty much it for my second teacher's video. I do feel for you. I'm not really sure why they're letting children into school that can't speak English. It's just so counterproductive. It just doesn't make any sense. I can't get a job with Via Rail, for instance. Mon français, c'est terrible. You know, how am I supposed to work effectively when I can't communicate properly with everyone at work? It could even create safety issues. So the parents of these children that can't speak English need to understand that this is not personal. They need to understand that your child really isn't going to learn anything at school if they can't read and speak English. And it's going to detract from all of the other students in the amount of time that this teacher is going to have to spend with this very small percentage of the students. That's not fair to the rest of the class. And it is very aggravating, I'm sure, for the teachers. But anyways, you guys make good money. You have a good, clean, safe work environment. Your hours are, well, enviable to say the least. I can't imagine having to work less than 200 days per year and only 5 hours at school and maybe an hour average at night, maybe at home. I did break down the pay, and at a median wage of $80,000 a year, the amount of hours that you guys spend actually working your job, you're making over $67 an hour now. So I'm not sure why you think that you deserve more money at all. Frankly, I'm practically disturbed by that. I do respect teachers, but I do kind of have a chip on my shoulder for them. I have 2 secondary school teachers in my immediate family. I think if you guys really want to do yourselves a favor, as I said, tackle one issue at a time. Not so much class size, but the fact that you guys they need to hire more teachers, and they need to have an English immersion class, for instance, for students that can't speak English. And as I said, until they're fluent, they should not be attending regular classes. and more teachers for a special needs class, etc. I think it's a shame that they're just sticking these kids in your classes. I absolutely disagree with that, and I would say that's your number one issue. Anyways, good luck to the students and the teachers. Have a great day.